Okay, hope this one works. It's getting hot in here. New light. People telling me, blogs are good, lighting sucks. So I brought in a work light. I've got it flashing away back there. Anyway, today, what am I going to talk about? 4 ways to make sure that your deals close. Obviously being geared towards the listing agent, but there might be a tip or trick for the co-op agent as well. 4 ways, going to save the best to last. Number 1. Inspired by Steve Covey, and he wrote a book called, some time ago, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits is start with the end in mind. Now, how does that apply here? Well, obviously the ending is going to be closing the deal. Where do you start? You actually start when you look at the offers. If you're in multiple offer time or single offer, when you're negotiating it, that's when you start. Don't only look at the price. Another key component of any offer is the buyer covenant. Can they close a deal? How financially strong are they? Do they have a house to sell? Have they sold their house? Do they have to sell the house in order to close the deal? Step number 1 to make sure that hint number 1 to make sure that your property's closed. Sell to a buyer who has the capacity to close the deal in the first place. Number 2, make an airtight offer. Pretend that a buyer were to take that offer to his lawyer and say, find me a loophole in this offer so I can get out of a deal. You make sure when you do the offer, when all signatures are on there, there are no loopholes. And you have to go through that exercise. Be careful. What am I talking about? Is the offer on the right form? Is the lot size correct? Is the legal description right? I can think of an example where an offer came in on, for example, 360 Eglinton, 360 Bloor East, and really the property was on Bloor West. Those are the types of mistakes that are very, very costly, and you've got to avoid. What do I recommend? Listing agent. Take the offer when you finally decided which offer you're going to work with. Extricate yourself from the action that's going on, happy buyers or happy selling agent with your sellers. Go into a corner. Doesn't have to be a corner. You haven't been bad. Go extricate yourself from that activity and review the offer. Go through every printed word and make sure it's right. That's step number 2. 3, financing. Oh yeah. Financing, there are more restrictions on now. It's becoming more of a challenge. Interesting though, we're not finding that it's the buyers that are not qualifying, but a couple times recently we're seeing that the properties are not appraising. We've got to be careful in that regard. Realize that appraisers are busy. They're also conservative. They have to be able to legally justify the prices that they put on the properties. And they also don't have access to the very most recent comparable sales. We do. What sold yesterday? What sold 2 days ago? Maybe a week ago? We know those. Print them out. Leave them for the appraiser on the dining room table. Make sure your property is appraised. That's step number 3. Number 4, the biggie that I was saying, deposits. Big deposits. Huge deposits. The bigger the better. No buyer could afford to walk away from a $100,000 deposit. And I know you can't get $100,000 deposits in every deal, but do get the biggest deposit that you can. Buyers also don't want to have that deposit sit in my trust account while they go through an extended battle. You get a big deposit, your buyers are going to find a way to close the deal. That's the strongest thing that you can do. Hope all your deals close. Seriously, I do. Thanks.